So we come to shape, or in this case mostly just looking at symmetry and comparing that with skewness. So one of the best reasons that we'll draw out one of these simple graphs, a dot plot, a stem and leaf, a little histogram, is so that we can easily see the shape of our data. And the things we want to look for is it symmetric? Are the values kind of the extremely high and extremely small values in similar numbers? And is the middle kind of near the middle? So if you've got some kind of graph, you want it to be mostly like a hill shape where the middle is in the middle and there's kind of the same number of scores on each of those ends. If this was a column graph or something, you'd have all the columns and they would all just kind of, they'd go up, then there'd be one here that's about the same height as one here, and the middle is kind of where the most numbers occur usually. We might be looking at, is it skewed? So is it at one where there's an uneven balance, where maybe there's a long gap where there's a couple of scores but not many, and then all of a sudden everybody's right at the top end in terms of scores. It might be the other way around, where everybody scored almost nothing and then there's one or two kids who've done extremely well. So that's what we're looking at today. We are going to have to do the exercise, draw out a couple of stem and leaf graphs. So if you weren't confident last lesson, please ask for help and work out how to do it. But the first question we're going to do won't be, it'll just be looking at a graph and answering some questions. But let's have a look at these. If I've got this histogram that we drew the other day, and we want to know whether it's symmetric or not, we'll see if we can do this. We'll go Kawushka going down that way, Kawushka going a little bit steeper. It's almost symmetric. Whereas this, on the other hand, now this is weird because it's going kind of up like this. I'm just trying to vaguely, maybe it could go like that, vaguely do the thing. Well, most of the scores are here near the higher numbers, and there's not so many down the bottom. So this is a set of skew data. Now, what some of you will need to know for next year, or will need to pay attention to next year when it gets taught, is that we actually talk about whether something like this, where there's a couple of values way lower, kind of at a minus taken away from things, we would call this a negative skew, because those values that are far away from the big chunk are on the negative side. But for this year, let's just talk about things being symmetric or almost symmetric, and things being skew. I want you guys to have a go at the exercise. I'll just quickly grab those questions and slide them over onto the screen. I want you to have a go at question 10, which has its little graph up here, and it reminds you that this means 205, 207. So answer some questions about Chris, and then what would we think his average is? And of course, if it's a symmetric set of data, the average should be close to the middle. So pick something you think is in the middle, and then if we add another value high up, will that make a difference to an average? I'll leave that for you guys to think about. And then I want you to scroll back up a bit and have a go at question 7, where there are 3 that you need to draw out. They'll look vaguely like this. This one digit, again 100 and something, so you need to put 2 digits in your stem like in question 10. Draw it out and then just tell me whether it is symmetric or skewed. So only really the 4 things, the 3 here and that one other question to do today.